Hello and welcome to my channel Database Tips and Tricks. In this video I'm going to share some valuable tips and tricks for managing and cleaning data in Excel, specifically for database applications. We'll be using a bank statement as our example. So typically when you get a bank statement from the bank, you download it in CSV format, but it doesn't matter if you're using PDF and you convert to CSV. So let's quickly use an example here. Let's quickly delete this one here. Let's go and copy this bank. So this is your bank statement you get from in CSV format. So let me just create a copy of it so we don't work on the original one. So the first thing you do when you're cleaning data is you must make sure your file type is correct. So this one's CSV, so you want it to be XLSX, for your database. So a lot of the things I'm telling you, you got to, if you don't understand database yet, you got to just have a blind faith in what I'm telling you and understand it later. So first thing you do is file, save as. Let's name it bank statement. And this is where you got to make sure it's XLSX, not CSV. Then you click save. So now we're ready to clean and prepare our data to allocate the bank statements. So the first thing you do, if there are any rows above your actual data, you delete them, or if any columns after this, you delete it. So you just double click a whole lot just to get your columns nice and wide. So the first thing you do, you click anywhere inside the data, Control T to convert it into a table. Click OK. So you must be meticulous, don't skip these steps I'm telling you, have blind faith. You must first name the table. You understand later when you get into database design why you must name the table. So name an appropriate name, naming convention, all small, lowercase. We just call this bank statement. Name the sheet the same, rename bank statement. Okay, the first thing you do when you're working with a table, you always insert an ID column. So we just insert an ID column, ID, put sequential numbers in, double click to drag it down, copy the ID column to the beginning, or move it to the beginning. So select properly so we get it done properly. Make all your columns width correct. So the next thing you do, everything in database has got to be meticulous. So we did already, we named the table, we named the sheet. Now every column in your table must be of one data type. So in other words, this one must only be numbers. So you right click, select table column data, Control 1, number must be no decimal places. Click OK. We're happy with the first column, it's a correct type, there are no spaces. Next one, the date column, we want to make it, you can see this isn't a date. Select table column data. I'll just use shortcut keys, which you understand later, so it's Alt A E, enter. So you can see this is date, month, year. So you just tell the computer that this is a column in this format. Right, it's year, month, date. So year, month, date. Click finish. Format into easier to read date. Click OK. Just check the drop down if the dates look okay. There are no spaces in any rows. Highlight the dates and look at the graph quickly to see if the graph is curving. That way you can see if any dates are outliers. You can see it must, because your dates are starting from the beginning to the end, the curve should be like this with no dips. Long story cut short, you understand if you do it yourself. Click OK, so we're happy. Let's just quickly delete this graph. We don't want this to be on our database. So we're happy the first two rows we've corrected. Next row, what data type do you think this will be? This will have to be text. Let's just select the proper way, right click, select, table column data, control 1, text, click OK. Okay, you can see this text isn't very neat. We want only single spaces, we want all to be lowercase, we don't want special characters. You understand that what I'm saying, because you're going to be allocating to each column here from this memo column, so you want the memo to be nice and neat. So the way to do this, you put a formula, you want them all to be lower, you want no unnecessary spaces, and you want to take out any special characters, and it's your description column. Close the brackets, enter, drag the formula down, copy your nice new data, only the values, not the formulas. So you replace the description column with that, right clicks, values, delete this column here. How nice does that look? All our data's getting neat, our table is taking shape. These two columns are the same, so you can do them both at the same time. Right click, select table column data, control 1, number, 2 digits, click OK. Alright, so now what you want to do, we've done all our formatting, control save all the time so you don't lose your data in case of power cuts and things like that. So now what you also want to do, you want to remove any unnecessary rows like these null values. So you just sort by smallest to largest or whatever you want to sort by. So you've got all the nulls together. Go and select and delete all the null rows. Right click, delete, get your sorting back to where it should be, smallest to largest. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to insert our starting balance to make sure our bank balances at all times. So you just insert a row here, right click, insert, just put the same date, should be your previous bank recons date. Just type here starting. So now starting balance, so it should be 915.56 plus 76. So we're going to start with 99156. We just copy this to the balance here. So this, I've cheated now. You actually go to your previous bank statement with a previous date and put that in here to make sure it follows on. So if we highlight this whole row here, this whole column, our total there should equal that total, which it does. You can see it does. But we want to check, must be meticulous, control save all the time, don't forget. We want to check at each row balances that you won't believe what mistakes you pick up when you do this exercise. So as I say, be meticulous, do everything exactly as I say. So right click, insert a column, let's put running totals, highlight the column, select this icon, totals, running totals, doesn't matter for that warning, click it, check it, this minus this should be 0 because we're checking that our running total is correct. Go equals that minus this one, enter, copy the formula down, check it, that will null, we're happy that will null, so we don't need this column anymore, delete, we don't need this column, delete. So everything balances. We're now ready to start doing our allocation, control save, and see if you minimize, everything looks nice and neat and just perfect, meticulous all the time, at all times. So we finished the cleaning data part now. So this whole process, I don't want to intimidate you, but once you know what you're doing, you can set up a Python script to do this process in 1 second. But you have to crawl before you walk and enjoy Excel while you can. I worked on it for years and years before moving over to other things. So next thing you do in the database, always everything meticulous, naming convention, all lowercase, date, description. Amount and balance. So now what you'll do, control save, what do you want for each row? You want to know for which company this bank statement is, company ID. You want to know general ledger code. For each row, you want a name ID. These columns are unique to each, whatever company you've got or private bank account. So let me just give you a few more examples. You could have an asset ID, you could have class ID, and you could have job ID. So that's what's nice about if you do your own database. You can extend it to as many columns as you want, and you can see reports from many more different angles. So now all these columns will just be numbers without any decimal places. Control 1, number, no decimal places. Control save. So your allocated bank statement will just be numbers except the description column. So if I can show you what my reconciled bank accounts look like, if I go to PostgreSQL, because I use PostgreSQL, let's go and select all my bank statements in one place for all the companies that I do, all the bank accounts. Let's get this right here. So we've got 191,000 rows of bank statement data. So this is what your bank statement, allocated bank statement will look like. You can see it's just numbers where you look, except the memo column's got that. So you can see this is what it looks. This is what you must get used to seeing. So then what happens is to do your accounting, you'd have like your source documents, the ones your bank statement that merges with a name, tables, item, general ledger code. Then you'll append like your invoice source document to this, your petty cash, your bill, journal, and you create a general ledger which you can see your reports, balance sheet, trial balance, profit and split second for any number of companies. So now let's go back to our database. So now you've seen how to do the allocating. So let's go and see on our script where we are. So now, because you watched so far, I want to give you a bonus tip. Now this thing I didn't know for years, and I used to really waste hours and hours and hours of time. So if you've got a bank statement, sometimes when you download them from the internet banking, they've got more than one row in each cell. So let me just make an example. Nigel is enjoying this video. So you can see it's got, and if you look at this formula bar here, for a database you never want this. It must all just be one line. So now, how do you do that? Oh, I used to spend hours going there, deleting that row, but there's a very simple formula in Excel. Equals clean. Click it, select your 1,000 rows if you want, click OK, and there it's done. Control copy just the values back to your cell, value space. Make sure your formats are always right, so it mustn't be wrap text. And there you have it. Nice. One row for your data for each line. Nice and neat. So that's all for this video. If you found this content helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe to be notified of new content. Thank you for watching.